Hi, my name is Sean Levine. Welcome to Waxing the Carrot. Today's carrot is Climate Wars by Gwynne Dyer. This is the fourth part in a four-part series. Hopefully this will be the last one. I can stop. Basically, Gwynne Dyer is a military historian who covers climate change from the political, military instability caused in the world due to food shortages, potential feedbacks in the natural world due to climate change, and also potential solutions that could avert climate change. So those are all covered in the other parts. So in this fourth part, we're going to cover the main stumbling block in his book, which is quintessential, and that is the political will, as we've seen in Copenhagen, where people are like, no, 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 I can't hear you. It just means I'm going to get a better tan. That's all it means. And who knows, maybe you will, but I think that won't be the worst thing that could happen for sure. So, political will, and the reason there is very little political will in the world is because there's a lot of oil and gas and coal still out there, and the old infrastructure is still based in it, and so on, and there's a lot of money to be made in it. I don't look to Gwynne Dyer to give me an idea of how to change the political will in order to implement the technology that could avert climate change. I look to Howard Zinn, who is a historian who wrote a book called The People's History of America, and he covers a lot of how people changed the society, corporations, the government, or whatever, from the bottom up, and they did that principally through strikes, through sit-ins, sitting in the companies so they can't do anything, large marches, boycotts, this kind of stuff. And it's just basically disobedience, civil disobedience, not like, you know, crazy for my own religion, chapter 1, verse 1, everyone has sex with the leader. Not a good religion. Stockpiling guns and weapons and stuff like that. I mean, as much guns and weapons as you can stockpile. The government has like tanks and helicopters, and you'd be killed by your own tax dollars. That's irony. That's irony, isn't it? So I'm not advising that. Civil disobedience at the level of peaceful civil disobedience, non-cooperation, and his what he talks about in his book is basically that large institutions like corporations and the government can only operate with the obedience of the population. If you disobey peacefully, these institutions have no choice but capitulate to the will of the people because they can't operate otherwise without everybody helping to do their bidding. So, I mean, and people did this, like when there were no cell phones, where there was no internet, and, when there were press gangs and police that could beat you up and shoot you, and they beat up women and all kinds of other stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely doable in today's society, and there are plenty of good organizations out there. There's Greenpeace, there's Avaz.org, there's 350.org, there's lots of them. Just Google about climate change and you'll get tons of them. If you can participate and help with them in civil disobedience to let the government know that, they won't be able to function, you won't allow them to continue until this is solved. I mean, if you get 1 million people to march on Washington and, stand there going, Mr. Obama, come out and play, yay. Like in that movie, The Warriors, where the gang comes out and don't hurt him. You don't have to hurt him. Just let him know he's your employee, and if he doesn't do what you want him to do, I mean, you got to get somebody else to do it, or the government won't function until, he does what the people want in their long-term best interest kind of thing. So, I mean, that's all possible. People have done in the past, and Howard Zinn's book is a great example of how people will do that. So I hope that's more hopeful, and I hope it gives you something to look for and to do. And that's it. Bye-bye.